What is up, everybody? 7:30 in the morning, just got done with a leg day. The workout endorphins are rushing. I'm feeling good. We're going to have a great day. Welcome into the vlog, y'all. I let go of my seven-figure business. I let go of something that was producing multiple seven figures a year to move on to something else, something that I think is going to be more aligned, something that I think is going to produce more for me as a person and my future family. And this vlog is for you, because what we're going to be talking about today is how to let go of something. This vlog is for you. If you feel like you have something in your life right now, it could be good, it could be terrible, but you know deep down, whether it's good or terrible, you know deep down that it's not meant for you. You know deep down that it is time to let it go. We're gonna talk about the exact process that I went through to let go of that seven-figure business so you could determine if you need to let go of the thing in your life as well. All right, let's do it. All right, so hopefully you guys can see I am significantly leaner. I've been going on a health journey, which you guys know because I documented that in the beginning of the year. And yeah, I'm significantly leaner. So I start, as you can see, like these shorts are way too loose. I started the year at 240 pounds. Right now, we are 227 pounds. I've been dialed in, man. I've been really dialed in. Fruits and veggies with every meal, tracking my calories, running, working out. I feel like I'm crushing it. So hopefully this is inspiration to you. If you're in a place right now where you're like, man, I just need to like dial in, freaking do it, man. I promise you, like it was hard for me. It took me, I shit you not, it took me 4 years to get to a point where I was like, I need to dial in, but it is worth it. You know, cut that time in half. Just say yes today and commit to a better version of you. First of all, how freaking cool is this t-shirt? I was obsessed with Steve Irwin as a kid, and I saw this on the TikTok shop, and I was like, you know what? I gotta freaking get it. Now my wife, it's actually funny because when I got it, I was like, oh, this is such a going out shirt. It's kind of like a little bit vintage. I could wear it with, you know, pants. And then Caitlin, my wife, was like, you're gonna wear that out? That is not a vintage t-shirt and that would not look cool. Now, I don't want to believe her, so I'm kind of asking you guys here. I'd love your opinion. I'm not really good with fashion. I wouldn't say that that's my forte. Would you wear this out? Like, would you wear this as like maybe with some like a vintage t-shirt with like jeans? Like, I don't know, is this stylish or am I completely quirky? All right, y'all, so I think it's a good time to get this conversation started. And I think a great place to start is the question, how do you actually know if you should leave? And I think the best place to start there is the grass actually greener on the other side? So I think this is the best, I'm gonna use myself as an example here, but I think this is the best way to answer that question. So as you guys know, I've had NLCA for a while. In the beginning of 2023, I wanted to start a sales coaching company, but I knew that I wasn't actually going to do it because I had a lot of opportunity left still in NLCA. It was 110% a grass is greener on the other side situation. So I didn't do it. Now, at the beginning of 2024, as you guys know, there was a lot of challenges with NLCA, and I could have went through the work of offloading and laying off more people and getting NLCA back to being profitable, but truthfully I didn't want to do the work, and we'll get to that point in a second. And I still had the yearning, I still had the want to start a sales coaching company. So I knew at that point that it was no longer the grass is greener on the other side. It was that I was fading out of interest of NLCA. I wasn't willing to put in the work, and this is really a pivot that I had to make. So I think the biggest thing for you to understand, like, is the grass greener on the other side, or is it actually time to pivot, is not really evaluating the opportunity, but more so evaluating your desire to continue that opportunity, right? Like I said, I could have gotten NLCA back into a better spot. All I had to do was basically hit the reset button, lay off a bunch of more employees, I'd start from scratch. But I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to put in the work. And it was very evident. Even the course in NLCA, that was a big project that I had to redo, but I literally would put it off for months and months because I just didn't want to do the work. So it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to do this because the grass is greener on the other side. It was more so that I'm not willing to put in the work into the NLCA opportunity, but I am willing to put in the work in the sales coaching opportunity. So I think that is the best way to determine, are you thinking is grass greener on the other side, or you actually need to let go and make a pivot here? Is evaluate your effort, not necessarily the two opportunities. All right, now the last thing you should consider if you are thinking about leaving this opportunity is I think it's a great time for you to revisit your vision and really to think about which opportunity is actually going to get you closer to your ultimate vision. Is it staying in the current opportunity, the current relationship, the current business, or is it making the pivot? And I think when we think about it that way, what are we trying to achieve, and then work backwards from there, it makes that decision 10 times easier. All right, now make sure you stick around. I got 2 more points on this topic. Hi, Mila.
Hi, Dad.
I don't usually have a midday coffee. I also don't usually let Caitlin make me coffees, but Caitlin, I would say, okay, all right. Okay.
I am quite the barista.
She is quite the barista, and her coffees are pretty good.
No, they're great.
They're great. I usually drink black coffee, so let's
Don't
see.
worry, baby. I'm gonna whip you up something good.
All right, let's see what she whips me up.
Yeah, baby. All right. We always gotta start with a double shot of espresso.
Do you want to surprise them at the end and let them know or do you want to let them know now what you're making me? Like, what's the end product?
I think I'm going for a caramel cookie dough iced latte.
Caramel cookie dough iced latte.
And it's gonna have a little salt. Look at that beautifulness.
Wow. Damn.
And then,
All right.
hopefully you like it.
All right, taste test time. So what is it again?
A salted caramel cookie latte.
Salted caramel cookie latte. There are some, just to be honest, there are some I hate.
I hope that you don't hate this
There are
one.
some that I like, so let's see.
I tried not to make it too sweet.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, what does it need? More sweetness, or
I don't like almond milk. I prefer that with whole milk. I like it creamy.
you want it more creamy?
Well, it's fine. I'm gonna drink it
Oh,
as
okay.
is, but I would give it like a 7.5.
Wait, does it need to be more? What the hell? That's fucking rude. Wait, do you need need more sweetness?
No, just next time use whole milk instead of almonds.
We don't have one.
All right, I don't drink it
That's
all.
fucking good. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, sorry you hate it. Sorry you fucking hate it. Fucking horrible, I guess.
It's not horrible.
No, I know, it's fine.
It's just not my preferred. But there it is in all its glory.
I think it's good.
The 7.5. Okay, so we're gonna move on to point number 2. All right, so point number 2, you've already established, I need to make a change. I need to make an adjustment. I need to pivot. What is the very next step? Okay, the very next step. I'm just gonna read it word for word on how I wrote it down on this piece of paper. As you guys see, like, this is what I do for the vlogs. Like, I prepare the vlogs. I write down all my points, all right? So here's what I wrote down. To get to your next level, you need to reinvent yourself, either with the same or with something new. All right, so here's what I mean by that, okay? So you've already decided you need to make a change, all right? Now, with the change, sometimes it doesn't always mean that you need to leave. All right, I'm gonna use myself as an example, all right? If I got to the end of NLCA and I decided, you know what, something needs to change, but I don't need to leave this business. I actually can stay in this business, but I need to reinvent myself. Or, like I did, I left NLCA, I'm creating a brand new business, the Act First Closing Academy, and I'm completely reinventing myself, right? So regardless whether you choose to stay in the relationship, stay in the business, or leave the relationship or leave the business and start something new, you probably need to reinvent yourself, okay? Now, let's talk about that, okay? So for me, it was redefining success. Prior, I worked from sun up to sundown, no exaggeration, had no social life, didn't really pour into my marriage, didn't pour into my health and fitness, and really just worked. And success to me was how much money could you make? I'm just being honest, I'm just being frank. I've redefined success. I'm going for it all in all aspects of my life. I want to be the best husband. I want to be the best physical condition I could be. I do want to make a lot of money and I want to help a lot of people, but in all areas of my life, I have goals now and pursuits, okay? Now, here's how, I knew, like, all right, this is the direction I'm going in terms of reinventing myself, right? Because you might be like, well, What am I reinventing myself into? What am I reinventing this business into? What am I reinventing, myself into? All right, so for me, it was the content I was listening to, okay? I listened to a lot of podcasts. I listened to a lot of YouTube shows, specifically around personal development, motivation, and success. And I highly recommend, because to me, or at least for me, it's been a really good compass of like where I'm going. I've learned a lot, obviously, from these podcasts as well. But specific to this, there was content where people were talking about redefining success. And they were talking about it in the way that I just talked about it, going for it all opposed to just going for money. And it was really resonating with me. And this is when I started having those thoughts of like, man, do I need to make a change here? Do I need to redefine my own position of what I think success was? And my gut and my intuition was pointing in that direction. And ultimately, I listened to my gut, I listened to my intuition and made the change. So my recommendation to you, if you're trying to figure out who you should reinvent yourself into, is to start pouring into personal development content, success content, and see what you resonate with, right? See what makes you come alive. See what makes your gut tick. See what gives you the butterflies. And probably high probability that is the direction that you need to go, okay? Now, I do want to come back for a second and talk about reinventing yourself, but not changing the opportunity, right? You're staying in the same business, you're staying in the same relationship, whatever it is, you decide to stay, but you understand that you need to reinvent yourself. I want to give you an example. This is also a company that you can start studying to see how they did it, but BPN, all right? If you're in the fitness space, you've probably heard of BPN, Bare Performance Nutrition, okay? I'm going to tell you the story very quickly. And then once again, go and look into the company, and I think they did it really, really well. All right, so BPN used to be bodybuilding, powerlifting. It also used to be more of a generalist in terms of, it's a supplement brand, by the way. I know I didn't say that yet, but their supplements were geared towards general population, health enthusiasts, bodybuilders, and powerlifters. So really they were a generalist. They were for everybody, okay? And they did really well, all right? But they reinvented themselves over the past couple years and now only create supplements for the endurance space. And they've done a beautiful job of reinventing themselves, rebranding themselves, but they didn't change the opportunity. It's still BPN. The company is still BPN. They just reinvented themselves. Okay, so it is very, very possible to reinvent yourself within the same opportunity. And highly recommend you go and check them out. Nick Bare is the CEO. I think he's a phenomenal CEO. I think it's a phenomenal company, and their rebrand, I think, has been nothing short of amazing. Another book that you can read that's been really helpful is Building a Story Brand 2.0. I think that really helps you rebrand yourself too. All right, but point number 2, we got one more point left, but to recap, point number 2 is to get to your next level, you need to reinvent yourself, whether that's in the same opportunity or in something new. One more point left. One of my goals this year was to have actual goals in my marriage. Caitlin's right here as well. So I bought us this book, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. It was actually the most recommended book for marriages. And we've been trying to read 5 pages at least 2 times a week right now is our goal. Other things, we've been going to events together. Hold on, the mic's right there.
Oh, sorry.
We've been going to like business events, business conferences together, going on runs together. Mm-hmm. Basically, my goal as the leader of the household is to involve personal development into our marriage. And so far, I think it's working.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's been going great.
Yeah. All right, we're back in the lab for the final point. I hope you guys are enjoying this one. Man, I love talking about this. This has been such a fun phase in my life. Like the past 6 months, obviously I've been working on building the business, but I've been grinding for like 10 years on businesses, entrepreneurship, the whole 9 yards. And although I am working, it feels like this is a very calm season in my life. And honestly, I'm very happy about it. And that actually goes perfectly into my last point with you guys here. When you go through an identity shift, it's okay to stay down. All right, I'm gonna use a boxing analogy. I used to do a little bit of boxing myself, and everyone should know this. This is common knowledge, right? But when somebody gets knocked down in boxing, there's a 10 count. So the guy's laying on the ground, and the ref will count to 10. Now, if the ref counts to 10, the fight is over. You have to stand up before the ref counts to 10. Okay, that's the boxing rule. Now, I'm gonna use that analogy, bring it back to life, right? When you decide to let go of something, a relationship, a business, right? Metaphorically speaking, you get knocked down, right? When I let go of NLCA, it was a setback, right? I let go of a multiple 7-figure business. It was a hard blow. It was a hard thing to let go, right? I was, metaphorically speaking, down for the count, right? I was down on the canvas. I got knocked down a size, right? But it's okay to stay down. I think a lot of times, especially as high achievers, we want to bounce back really quick, right? We want to make that come back really quick. And when we do that, I actually think we miss out on a lot of the gold, right? When you are knocked down and you choose to stay down, like you don't act right away, right? You don't go and, do the next thing right away, find the next relationship right away, create the next business right away, right? It allows you time to reflect and reset. Because like we talked about in point number 2, when you have to make an identity shift, you first need to reflect, right? You need to reset, take the blow, reflect, and then once you're done reflecting, then you could strategize on what's next, right? Then you can actually strategize. And then once you strategize, you can actually take action on what's next, right? So if you act right away, you miss the reflection and you reset. But here's the caveat to that, okay? So my high achievers are probably gonna wanna act right away. And I would tell you to take a pause, reflect, reset, strategize, then move, okay? But then the opposite is true too. And I would have missed this point if I didn't look down on my notes. If you wait too long and you let it become a vacation before you make your next move, then you're gonna lose momentum. All right, so you kind of have to strike this balance, right? You have to strike this balance of, all right, I got knocked down, let me reflect, let me reset, let me strategize, and then let me act. All right, so that's my third and final point for you guys. It's okay to stay down. Don't stay down too long and make it a vacation, because then you're gonna lose momentum. And don't bounce up too quickly, because then you're gonna lose all the lessons and the strategizing for your next big move. All right, y'all, that's the end of this vlog. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully this was helpful. Please, please, please let me know if this is helpful, because these types of vlogs, these types of topics, if I get love on them, it tells me, hey, I should create more of this content. So thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.